Yes, my fellow spectators, gladiators, and warriors. This week I'm weighing in around 208.6 to 0.2 pounds, which is progression from the last episode. Welcome to another installment of Resurrecting Hercules. Last week on the seated cable row, we were using 235 pounds. This week, we are using 250 pounds. Plus, we're increasing the reps by quite a bit. Seriously though, it feels great to be back at that point in the bulk where you're feeling strong, you're feeling filled out, you're feeling like you can move heavy weights again, and I'm definitely taking advantage of that. One of the tips that I use for this type of lifting when I'm getting tired at the end of these reps is to squeeze the handle extremely hard, and it makes you feel that much more strong. Seriously, try it at the end of your next set. Now I'm about to show you some heavy weight leg PR, which I'm really stoked about. But before I do that, I want to show you a few movements, a few motions that I go through before every single leg day just to warm my legs up. The first one that I'm doing is just sitting in astrograph position. The only thing that I want to say is that you want to squeeze and contract your glutes while you're in this position. And I like to just hold this for like 20-30 seconds. The next one I'm doing is basically like a long lunge, and then you are just bringing your torso down as far as you can. And you're going to feel this one really deep in your glutes. For me, I have a lot of glute and lower back tightness, so this one is really helpful. This next one is a little bit harder to explain. It's also a little bit harder for a lot of people to do, so just try to do your best. If you can't do it, then don't do it at the time being, but you're just going to put your leg in front of you in the same style that you're doing with the lunge stretch, but then you're going to collapse your leg to the left or right, and then try to straighten out the leg in the back while getting your hips as close to the ground as possible. These three movements are key to me, and then I add in a bunch of other stuff, but these are the three that are the most effective. And for those of you who are always asking me what shoes I wear Ani brand shoes because they're flat sole, which makes it really good for my leg days. Discount and everything in the description below. Now let me show you those heavy weights that I was talking about. So I'm really sorry about this crappy ass angle. There's so many people in this gym, it's really hard to film, so I just do what I can. I have it on the ground right here with an aerobics mat covering it so no one can see it. But this is a machine that is special at one gym that I can go to in my location, and it allows me to basically put the weight into my lower back instead of my upper back where my scoliosis is prevalent. So you see I have 5 plates on each side there, and that, granted, that's not even close to the same thing as 5 plates on a squat or something like that. But this is allowing me to load my legs with a lot of weight, and loading my legs is going to be important to gaining mass there because you can only do so much with lunges and things like that without loading them up with weight. There's a bit of a curved platform that I'm pressing my feet into, which allows me to go up or down to add weight to a different part of my hips, and also to change the way that my knees are tracking, because sometimes this can be painful for my knees. All of this is just products of being a tall dude, which kind of sucks, but you just got to learn to work around it. Let's talk ab training, because I've been putting a lot more emphasis on my abs, and I'm trying to figure out different movements that I really like, and this is one that I personally really like, using a medicine ball, just a simple hyperextension and squeezing really tight. But one that I like even more than this is a bit of a dragon flag type of thing. So you're just going to need to have something really heavy and really strong that you can hold on to above your head. You can use your friend's legs, or you can use a pole or whatever it is, and then basically you're just going to raise your legs until they're above your head, and then you're going to lift your hips off of the ground so that your hips are now above your neck or above your chest, and then you're going to lower your hips back down and then lower your legs back down. What I've been doing with this exercise that I really like is doing 20 reps on the first set, doing 20 reps on the second set, and then the third set doing 10 reps at full range of motion, then doing 10 half reps at the top of the motion, and finishing with 10 reps at the bottom of the motion, just doing the lower leg raise. And this is such a kick-ass end of the workout ab exercise and routine, and you're going to be seeing a lot more ab routines from me very soon in the future. I told you guys I was going to keep you updated on this overhead dumbbell tri extension, and I have been progressing every single workout, in fact, and it hasn't been hurting my shoulders, so that's exciting as hell. Today on this lift specifically, I used 85 pounds, and I believe I got it for 12 reps. Now there has been another session since this one that you are watching that I did not film, where I was able to use 90 pounds for 12 reps, and that is blowing my mind, and it feels good to be able to do things I haven't been able to do for a long time. I probably could have gotten 2 more, but I felt like I might be going into an impinged state, so I just stopped. How's my hair? All right, now the creme de la creme, let's talk chest. The one area of my body that has been lagging the most, I guess, other than shoulders, since my shoulder injury. And I've been really working to try and get back into it, obviously having to stop and slow down my progress every time my shoulder hurts. So this has been a very slow grinding process, but right now I am able to use, you see this right now, 2 plates on a flat islateral bench. And I know for most of you guys, it's just not a big deal. It doesn't really matter. But for me, it is nuts. Now you see me using 2.5 plates on the incline bench, and again, it is like, for me, it's just the most joyous thing ever. You see how long it's taking me just to set up for this very simple press, but that's because I'm trying to think of so many different things at once to keep my shoulders from being impinged. There's even a certain way that I'm moving my elbows throughout this angle that just changes the way that I'm receiving the weight so that there is less and or no impingement. And hell yes, my friends, we are going heavier every week that we're allowed to. So that brings us to the end of this episode, and as you can see, there's been a lot of lifting happening these last 2 weeks. It's been awesome that my shoulder has been, I don't know, it's been letting me do a lot of things that I wasn't able to do before because all these rehabs I'm doing, all these little different rehab exercises and stretches and stuff like that, so it feels good to be back in the gym pushing heavy weights. Again though, we do have to be very careful and smart about how we progress in the future, so don't expect me to be benching 3 plates or anything like that anytime soon. This episode predominantly consisted of lifting content, and the reason is because there's so much to cover and there's so much that I want to track at the moment so that in the future when I'm seeing if I've made progression and stuff, I have this video to go back to see how my lists were looking at this moment in time. As far as my calories are going, I'm usually getting about 3,800 calories right now, all the way up to 4,200 calories. And again, we are aiming for just about a pound of weight gain every week. As far as how my physique is looking, I'm feeling super solid about it. Literally, I'm going into the gym, I'm feeling filled out, I'm feeling strong, I'm grabbing the weights extremely tight and hard, and then it feels like the weights are just moving for me, so that feels really good. I have added a little bit of like water weight or some fluff, whatever you want to call that. That is totally fine with me, and I am so used to the whole bulking and cutting cycle and all that kind of stuff, and the whole mental battle that comes with each side of that. You know, when you're bulking, you feel like you're fat and you feel like you don't have enough muscle, and then when you're cutting, you feel skinny and you feel weak. It all just comes with the game, and you kind of have to roll with the punches. But I feel really good about where I am right now, and you guys are giving me tons of motivation. Also, you guys know exactly how busy I've been in this last week or two. I have so many things that are coming up, so many things that I'm trying to get you know, down and finished and whatnot. So if you guys aren't following me on Instagram, then you should definitely follow me on Instagram. Check out that story, and hopefully next week in this next episode, I have a lot of good progression to show you in the next episode of Resurrecting Hercules.